1. Several months ago, I started working claims support for a company that handles insurance claims for a major US wireless carrier. All I will say is if you love Magenta, you probably love their ads. Most of the customers are just grateful someone is willing to listen and acknowledge they have been going through a hard time. This gentleman thought no such thing. At the beginning of the call, as I'm trying to greet him, he keeps cutting me off, explaining that this is the third time he has had this exact problem with the same model device for the past 5 months. I apologize and advise I can see how this would be wildly inconvenient, especially if this is something that has occurred multiple times, and let him know I'm happy to help him with his claim. He is short with me through the entire call and keeps saying things like, "Isn't that information on file?" and "What do you need that?" But I actually like this job, and so I keep up my best customer service voice and just keep trying to help. We come up to an area where we are discussing the reason for the claim itself. The customer tells me his device is giving an error saying that the device has had liquid exposure to the charge port and will no longer charge. I go on, thinking out loud, okay, so your phone has been damaged and is giving an error for liquid exposure. We can help out with that.
Now, you weren't listening. There's no physical damage to the device. It's saying there's liquid exposure, but there couldn't possibly be liquid exposure because I was literally just using it in my car.
I stop, because if there's no physical damage, we deem the problem to be a mechanical failure and refer to the wireless carrier for warranty exchange. I know this full well, and I also know if he goes to the store, he will be told the phone is damaged and he will need to make a claim due to liquid exposure. Keep in mind, I had no ill intent here, but I was kind of done with his attitude. And I didn't feel like giving him any freebies. Plus, the calls are recorded, and I don't want to be accused of assisting to commit fraud. So you were telling me there is no physical damage?
None at all.
Okay, that is good to note on the claim, thank you. When was the device purchased? Things go along pretty standard from this point until we get to the end of the call, and I receive an error stating the claim was denied and that the wireless carrier would be handling the claim. I start explaining this to the customer, who really wasn't happy with what I was saying. Okay, sir, it looks like the claim you're filing is considered a mechanical failure of the device, and all mechanical failure claims are handled directly by the wireless carrier. What you want to do is reach out to their customer support team, let them know you have attempted to file the claim, and that we have determined this to be a mechanical breakdown. At that point, they should work with you using their own warranty exchange program.
Wait, what do you mean? I filed for this exact sort of thing before, and you guys were able to overnight me a phone. The phone says it has liquid exposure.
I'm trying to give him a way to backtrack legally. Are you telling me that the device has been physically damaged, and that we are filing it incorrectly?
No, I told you the phone doesn't have any physical damage. Haven't you been listening? It says it has liquid exposure, but it says it for no damned reason because it's been in my car in Chicago the entire day and just quit working.
This is all I needed to hear. Okay, sir. Well, all mechanical failure claims are administered directly by the wireless carrier, so I would need to refer back to them for additional assistance. My apologies for the inconvenience, but I hope you have a good night. I was perfectly happy to help him properly file his claim and try to get a replacement on the way to him ASAP, but he insisted there was no damage to a device that was giving him an error saying it was damaged. I can't argue with the claimant. I also know full well how he will blow a head gasket tomorrow at the wireless store, and I almost wish I could see his face when he realizes he told me exactly the wrong thing. The store will tell him the device is damaged and he needs to file the damaged device claim. Too bad there are some people that are so focused on the here and now that they fail to be able to read between the lines, especially when customer care is really trying to help. Oh well, we will hear back from him tomorrow, and we can help him get a claim properly filed. Hopefully, he learns how to listen in the meantime. 2. A few points about the call center I work in. It has 2 stairwells and a couple of elevators. One set of stairs is not used too often, and a couple of employees were caught by management in the middle of oral. When you're trained, you are eventually sitting next to someone who's working the phones. By management, the worker and new hire were caught doing a line on the worker's desk. I used to work for a financial service that addressed car loans they had. I didn't understand this at the time, and I still don't even with religious knowledge. The customer complained her bill was $660.26, and didn't want to see that amount because of the 3 sixes. She was also on autopay. Management told her to make a payment, and autopay will take out the remainder amount. Seriously, why have autopay if this is the case? I would constantly get calls from people at the last minute, as we were closing down for the day, demanding their payment go through today. Our terms are 24 to 48 hours for payments to go through. Problem is, they are on day 29 of being behind on payment, and felt entitled this is something they should be allowed because they didn't want a 30-day mark on their credit. Sometimes they call in, and me being someone who actually cares about my own, I let them know that this could be a mark on their credit. Being about 21 years old, I didn't care if I stirred the pot at all, but I was still trying to be concerned for them nonetheless. That usually ended up going to management. When I used to get people calling in literally in tears and behind on payments, I would try to probe to ask, what can you afford exactly? I would then math out a plan that would get them caught up on what they could afford in a period of 1 week, 2 weeks, etc. So even if the amount during that month doesn't add up to everything, it's still more than what they would normally have to pay. My manager, if she hears me, would get pissed. You're not supposed to give financial advice. I would usually reply, I'm not giving advice, I'm doing basic math and helping them so this doesn't go to collections. And furthermore, not only am I getting them to pay their tab, they feel better now because of me. I don't really get written up for this, but I think they were trying to use this in the event they had to fire me for a reason they saw fit. 3. People who somehow manage to fail the automatic security process, despite having all of the relevant information to hand, and then come through to me and try to speedrun their way through the manual security process, are some of the worst people to deal with. They always have the same "my time is more valuable than yours" attitude, and act like you are massively inconveniencing them by not having the answers to their questions pre-prepared, as though you were expecting and anticipating their call. Whenever I get one of these clowns on the phone, I really like to take my time with them and make sure they get the best possible customer experience and make sure their every want and whim is catered for, even things that they may not have considered prior to the call. Good morning.
My name is Mr. Impatient. My birthday is...
Can I just...
Okay, so I'm calling today because I received a letter from... It's not good enough.
I'm waiting for them to stop talking, to make sure they've gotten everything out of their system before I even try to deal with the call.
Hello? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Is anyone there?
Hello, yes, I am still here. I was just making sure you had said everything that you needed to say before we proceeded with the security process.
But I've already done security.
Unfortunately, the call came through showing that the automatic security was attempted but was not passed, meaning that I need to complete security manually in order to access your records and deal with your query.
But I've already given you all my information.
Unfortunately, you did not give me your reference number, so I was unable to bring up your details with which to cross-reference them with the information that you were providing.
So what do I need to do now, then?
We just need to complete the security process manually, and then I will be able to access your records and deal with your query.
We'll get on with it, then.
Can you please confirm your reference number for me?
Yes.
And he gives me his number. Sorry, I just want to make sure I got that right. I repeat the number back, the exact same reference number back to them, but place emphasis on different letters and numbers so it sounds different.
No, it isn't.
He repeats the same number again. Okay, just to make sure I've got this right. You said, and I repeat the number, this time placing emphasis on other letters and numbers, making it sound different still. They repeat the number again. Excellent! There we go. I have your details here. Now can you just confirm your full name for me?
I've already given you my full name. Were you listening before? Why are you asking me this again?
I need this information in order to complete security. Can you please confirm your full name for me?
Yes, it's Mr. Impatient.
Can I please take your full name?
Yes, it's Mr. I am really fucking impatient.
Thank you. Now, can I just ask you to confirm your date of birth?
Are you fuck?
I will continue like this for the remainder of the call. I might throw in a couple of sorry, my system is running really slow at the moment. I just need to wait for it to catch up during the call. A couple of sorry, the system has stopped responding. I just need to relaunch this, and maybe one or two sorry, could you just repeat that for me? The call cut out there for just a moment, after they've explained something lengthy. Sure, it might screw my stats for the rest of the day, but I really don't care about that. And it is so much fun to screw with someone like this when they have that my time is too valuable attitude. 4. So a little backstory, which is necessary to understand. I work for a company which is a third party that handles overflow for agencies that are contracted to run background checks for all manner of things: employment, mortgage, loans, credit cards, license renewals, etc. I exclusively handle the employment history portion of the background checks. And aside from the necessary data that is required to obtain the verification of employment, VOE, I am provided with nothing else. We make around 140 calls a day, roughly, and each order we get has a reference number, which we give out whenever we leave messages, so when they call in to provide the VOE, we can quickly pull the order up. We can search by the employer name, i.e. Best Buy, Walmart, etc., phone number, or the applicant's name. But the best way to pull up the order is with the reference number, as the other options will usually pull up a list of orders that we have to search through to find the correct order. I also need to note that because we're a third party, we have no idea how quickly our clients need the information, as they could be applying for anything that requires them to submit prior employment information, which means we call daily until we get a response, or until 4 calls have been made in total, unless the client requests that we call more than 4 times. So this happened about 8-ish months into me being employed there. Obviously, I can't provide any identifying information, so the caller will simply be referred to as Lady. I answer the phone. Good morning, may I have your reference number? The lady immediately starts yelling. I've gotten 4 calls from your company, and it's overloading my voicemails. I'm very busy. And honestly, this is so ridiculous. You guys are not the most important people in the world, you know. I'm sorry for the regular calls, because we're a third party. We don't know how quickly the client needs the VOE, so we do call daily. The VOE process takes roughly 2 minutes, and I can be out of your hair after that, with no follow-up calls afterwards. All I need to get started is the reference number. I'm not giving you that. I want to be removed from your calling list immediately. Now, we don't keep a call list of people we call out to, so I need some kind of identifying information to pull the order so I can get her removed. Sure thing, that's not a problem. I do need a reference number so I can pull the order, at which point I can remove her from our call list. Ugh. Then she gives me the reference number. The reference number is old and is not going to an order linked to her or her company. Most likely the person leaving her a message did not speak clearly enough when leaving the number, or she had a typo writing it down. I wasn't able to pull up an open order with that reference number. I see a number on the caller ID. Is this the number that we contacted you on? Yes. At this point, I search for the number from the caller ID, which doesn't pull anything up. I wasn't able to pull up anything from that phone number either. Do you have an alternate number we would have contacted? Maybe if we were transferred to you from the main operator or something similar. She's getting audibly agitated now. Gives me a different number, which also pulls nothing up. I'm sorry, that didn't pull up anything either. How about the company name? I should be able to find it that way. I do need the exact spelling of the company, though. This is so ridiculous. You are the ones calling me. How hard can it be to locate the order? Just remove me from your call list. Miss, there's 13 of us here, each of us making 140 calls a day. If I can't find the order, I can't remove you from the call list. If you have the company name or the name of our applicant, I can search by either of those to locate the order. What, you think you're the only ones who are busy? I'm busy too. I don't have time to deal with this shit. What's your name? and I want to speak with the manager. This is absolutely ridiculous. I give her my name and ask her if she can hold. Thankfully, she agreed to hold and stopped yelling. I get up to find a manager. My supervisor tells me they're in a meeting and tells me to get her number so we can call her back. I was a little put off by that, because I knew the lady would freak out again, but nothing for it. I go back to my desk. Ma'am, are you still there? Yes. The manager is in a meeting at the moment. They ask that I take your number so they can give you a call. Is the caller ID number okay, or do you have a different number you would like to use? Unfucking believable. I'll wait for them. Ma'am, I'm not sure how long their meeting will last. It could be up to 2 hours or longer. At this point, she is yelling so loud I couldn't discern any language from it. After she stops yelling, she tells me her caller ID is fine, and then tells me they better call within the next hour before hanging up on me. Afterwards, I passed it off to the manager, who came right in afterwards. She pulled the audio tape to listen to and told me I did the best she could have expected. We had 6 trainees on the phones, and she was glad that I was the one who had taken the call and not one of the trainees. Later, she informed me that the woman had obviously had the wrong reference number, and we were able to get our applicant's verification. What should have taken 2 minutes took over 15 minutes on my part, and almost another half an hour on my manager's. Easily the worst call I've had working there. And it's calls like this that make me want to quit. 5. This story comes from the time I was working the general customer service line for people with general inquiries about their services, bills, etc. I'd received a call from a woman asking for an update on her application and why it was taking so long to get her connected. I did a thorough check through our system, but we legitimately didn't have an application from her at all. She started raising her voice, asking what became of the bank details she entered into our website's application form, and how we've somehow set her up for potential fraud. As per our company's policy at the time, I had to take her details and create an account for her just to file her complaint, and asked her to send in the email she received confirming that her application was submitted to us. 2 days later, I receive an email from her with 2 attachments. She has submitted an email verifying that she's created an online profile on our website, but nothing to confirm that an actual application for broadband services had been sent to us. What did she send instead, you ask? Well, you know how whenever you complete a form online, and it gives you a summary of the details you've entered before you click submit or continue to complete it? Yeah, she sent me that. I called her back and told her she did not properly submit an application, and has only sent me a screenshot of the summary of her application. She denied this, saying that the summary page was evidence enough that she'd done everything expected of her. I had told her that unless she clicked submit, which she omitted from the screenshot, she would never have received her application in the first place. Are you saying that I'm stupid? She asked me in a very snarky tone. She then went on to tell me that she has a university degree and can't be stupid, and that I need to do my job and fill in an application on her behalf using the details she sent me in the screenshot. I told her that this would be a breach of data protection, plus even if it was my job to do this, I didn't have all the details needed to process an application. She then has the audacity to ask what happened to her bank details once more, since she clearly entered them into the form. I reminded her that she never submitted her application, therefore her bank details have gone nowhere. The call ended with her saying she's going to badmouth the company on social media and will never consider us again. I mean, good riddance. Simply having a university degree doesn't make someone immediately intelligent. I wouldn't be surprised if the degree in her possession was stolen from someone else. I never called her stupid, but I was certainly thinking it. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Please Hold, episode 15. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use and sent in stories for use in this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please do like, subscribe, and comment. That is very helpful to me and the channel. Alright, let's see. I have a little birthday shout out to do. This one is from Carla Kirkpatrick, and it goes to their great nephew Jesse Harding. Their birthday is on the 25th of August, which is today. So happy birthday to you, Jesse. I hope you have a very good day and you spend it with all the people you love and doing all the things you care about. Okay, and before we go, we'll have a little sing-song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jesse. Happy birthday to you. Alrighty, and I think on that note, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.